Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here, talking a little mixed martial arts. And man, our producer Will just dropped off a bunch of cool stuff to give away. So it was like Christmas in here. We're going to be giving away tickets to the Miller Motorsports Park this weekend. They've got a big deal going on out there. I'm not sure. It looks like motorcycles. So anyway, I went to this thing last year, and it was really cool. And then we've got two more DVDs for the UFC Resolution 125. It's got the Edgar Maynard fight, Lieben and Stan. You just talked about that fight. So some good stuff on there. If you want to give us a call, say something super smart sounding, then we'll give you something to go home with. Now, Adam Legas finally made it through traffic, and he doesn't make it up to this part of the country very often. He lives down there where God's people live, and every now and then we can talk him into venturing up in here into Sin City. Now, Adam, you've been around a long time. You've been really one of those guys that helped the sport of MMA grow here in Utah. And now you're currently you run the gym. It's the Academy, right?
Yes.
And then
right.
we've been having conversations on this radio show about, we heard this Academy. We heard something about some pit elevated thing. What's going on down there at the Academy?
That's it's an interesting thing that's probably pretty confusing for everybody. I mean, it's even confusing for the people at the Academy. But Chuck Liddell's coach, John Hackelman, he really loves Court, and he loves Ramsey.
Right.
I mean, and those guys are lovable dudes. I mean, especially when Ramsey's, doing his strip routine. I mean, you just can't resist the guy.
I want to see Court strip.
Court keeps more clothes on. I mean, me and Ramsey, we're like kindred spirits. We like to take our clothes off.
Sure.
But he wanted to be a part of it. Court really liked Hackelman. And so we just figured that, they already had a name, and the Pit is the team that Chuck Liddell's fought out of for years in San Luis Obispo. And so we just kind of cross-promote the name or the brand, the Pit Fight Team. And so our guys here at the Academy fight out of the Pit Elevated.
I see.
And they fight out of the, there's really, I don't know really that many guys they have. I mean, the Pit Elevated is coached by Jason Mertlich. I want to be totally clear about that. Jason Mertlich is the head coach. I mean, that dude is responsible for everyone that you can think of from the Pit besides Chuck Liddell. It's Jason Mertlich. I mean, the dude is unbelievable. I mean, he's going to be the next Greg Jackson. He puts out talent. If you think about the talent that we have, I mean, let's say Ramsey goes on to win. That means that we'll currently be training the last three Ultimate Fighters, because Jonathan Brookins trains with us as well. So we have Court McGee, Jonathan Brookins, Ramsey Nijum, and we have an unbelievable crew of other guys. I mean, Brock Jardine is on UFC's radar. Steven Seiler's on UFC's radar. We've got undefeated heavyweights. We got Jan Jorgensen, who's in here. I mean, we've got some crazy dudes from 135, Trevor Mellon, all the way up to Jan Jorgensen and Craig Mock. We've got a stable of fighters that it would blow your mind if you were to watch practice. It's pretty awesome.
Already my mind's blown. That's a lot of talent down there. Now, I understand you had a real big situation in your own personal life this last week. You tried to pop a mole on your face.
I thought it was a zit.
Where do you come up with this stuff, man? I follow you on Facebook, and some of the stuff you say is just kind of like, where'd that come from?
Well, I just I read these, I go through and I look at other people's statuses, and I see things like, today's hump day. I just went to the gym. I just had a great sandwich at Subway, and I'm like, man, who cares?
Oh, my goodness. I hate that. When people tell you what they just ate,
and
then they put yum.
Oh, man, my bench workout was awesome. I did 8 reps of 150 or whatever it is. And so I just like to say things that, kind of a little bit off the wall, but they're always based on something that actually just happened. So it's something that I can follow up with. It's not just some stupid comment that I just pulled out of my head. It's actually like, I was like, holy crap, this thing, I thought it was a zit. Next thing I know, I'm ripping a chunk of my...
That can be a traumatic moment.
Yeah, it
ripping part of when you're a beautiful man like yourself.
Yeah,
ripping
especially,
part of your
this is my moneymaker.
Yeah.
I mean, the radio is just not for me. I mean, I was hoping...
You were a TV guy.
and I'm tearing my face apart. But the truth is, I actually enjoy beating up my face. I'm still depressed after wrestling since 5th grade. I have no cauliflower ears. And it's like one of those badges of honor I've always wanted. I sit there and rub my ears, and I just have like genetically
cauliflower face, you know. Well, now, Adam, I think this is kind of a little bit off the topic of sports and MMA, but it really is kind of part of it. I predict that Facebook is going to take over the internet. I really believe that people are going to use Facebook for Google. It's going to replace all of that, and because people are able to pick and choose who they allow in their social network. And as a gym owner and as a fight promoter or fight manager, whatever.
Let me be real clear, just because I don't want anyone listening to this to have a misunderstanding. I don't own the gym anymore.
Okay.
I sold the gym. I still am highly involved with promoting the gym and helping out with the gym. I own Riven Gear, which is an MMA apparel and gear company. I mean, we do everything from boxing gloves to shorts and all that stuff, because the truth is I wanted to focus on Tad and I have our own real estate business, which is interesting you bring up Facebook, because all I do is I just segue everything I do with my Facebook stuff and my personal things and throw out little nuggets of my businesses.
Right. That was the question I had for you, whether it be real estate or whatever. But tying it back to MMA, how big is social media in what it is you try to do?
It's everything. I have about 27,000 people right now that I'm connected to on Facebook. Just
between Riven and your personal page.
With Riven, I mean things that are connected to Riven. I have Riven MMA, I have Riven Gear, I have Riven Academy, all these different things with Riven. Some of them is just Riven Action. What the crap's the name of it? I can't remember it. But anyway, like for example, I posted a picture of Melanie Edwards, who is one of our girl fighters who was going to fight on the last show. Just put a picture of her holding her kid, saying, "Come watch this hot mom fight in our next show." And just that picture alone got 27,000 hits in one day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, it's amazing the power of Facebook. I'm amazed by it.
It is amazing. And speaking of that, I mean, I know that YouTube had a recent sensation come kind of plowing through there. And to kind of give you an idea what Gunnar his impact has been, I Googled his name, and about 60, 70 pages later, it's still talking about Gunnar and his amazing arm and all those kind of things. And
it's got over 3 million views.
It's amazing.
The one on YouTube only has like 250 because we sent the actual. Well, it has 250,000, but we sent the actual, whatever you call it, thumb drive to NBC because they paid for us to send it to them, and so they put it all over on all their affiliates. So it's on like all the different Comcast and MSNBC.com.
70 pages later of Google. And Google, what is it, 10, 12 per page? I mean, 70 pages later, and I just stopped looking. and then I Googled Tad's or Adam's name, and the first 3 pages, and he's an accomplished guy. And the first 3 pages were about, his exploits in the fight game and that kind of thing. And then after that, he had another 70 pages that was all tied to Gunnar.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Gunnar's dad. Believe me. In 1 month, I've gone from being Adam to being Gunnar's dad. It's totally changed.
How proud are you?
You know what? I'm really proud of Gunnar because he actually deserves the recognition he's getting because he's always been a hardworking kid, and he's a nice kid. He's really humble, and he likes everybody. Man, he hangs out with every different group of kids at school. I mean, you'd be amazed. Every Friday, it's like he's got some random new stranger that shows up that I've never seen before.
But I think you can see the kind of kid he is, and that's why, Good Morning America wanted to talk about it, because he's that all-American, just great kid. So give him the headset, Len. Let's talk to this guy. Now, we talked about Ramsey and all these other really big names, the guys coming out of the academy, but the real star from Utah County, the guy that's really making an impact, Gunnar Legas, man. In fact, hand the mic back to your dad for just 1 second, because I'm going to let your dad introduce you, because tell the folks, who is this kid, man? Why is he such a sensation?
Okay, Gunnar Legas is 13. He's a 7th grader, and a month and a half ago, he saw a video on YouTube of a kid throwing a football, and he said, "Hey, Dad, I can throw better than that kid." And I go, "Well, cool. What do you know?" And he said, "I want to make a video too."
And you said, "Let me take my shirt off."
And I said, and that's the thing is, of course, I had my shirt off, and I didn't think anything of it. And so my little 10-year-old, who's a crazy good fighter, MMA kid, who he's a really nice, nice little brother. He's like, yeah, I'll film it. So we used a little flip camera, and then on a Sunday afternoon, we just went out and thought up stupid things to do with the football. And by the end of the day, I'd run around with my shirt off and a bandana and look like, according to some comments on YouTube, an orange manatee.
Yeah, that was the best one.
I was Uncle Rico that could throw the football over the mountains. That was everything. Everything but the cool dad that was out there playing with his son. But anyway, it's been a really unbelievable sensation. I mean, he's been on Sports Center. He's been on every other show on ESPN. He was on the Today Show. He was on the morning show.
I saw him
on
the
Comedy
Today Show.
Central. He's on.
That's great.
I mean, he's actually, we had to have him write a check to my wife because we didn't want him to lose his eligibility. But he got paid for that video. Like, people wrote him a check so they could have the rights to use it for whatever they wanted. And, just a funny story. He's like, man, Dad, I wanted to have people sign my yearbook yesterday, but there were so many kids gathered around me that I had to just sign everybody else's yearbook. He's like a celebrity now at his own junior high, and he just went out on a Sunday afternoon and made a video. But the cool thing about him is that he did it just for fun. I had no idea how many people were going to see it. My bishop won't let me forget about the fact that, I had my shirt up, and I'm like, hey, I always have my shirt up. You should have known that by now. And Gunner's had fun with it.
Let's make him a real big star and put him on Ultimate Combat.
Heck yeah. Here we go.
All that other stuff, he's just been a warm-up to this moment right here. Gunnar, sounds like your dad's a little bit proud of you. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This whole thing, man, has it changed? Obviously you had people lining up to have you sign their yearbooks, but what about in school? People treat you differently at school and you're walking down the halls?
Not really. They're still cool, and I still have a bunch of friends and having a good time at school.
Very nice. So you're not ready to go off to college just yet?
Mm-mm.
Where did you learn all that stuff? Now, you said you'd shot all this stuff in one day. Where did all that come from? Was that you, your dad, kind of a combination of the two?
Well, me, my dad, my brother, we all thought of the different tricks to do.
Well, how did you get to be able to accomplish those tricks? Because they were not just tricks; those were legitimate athletic endeavors, man. That you did. They were very impressive. Where did you learn to do all that?
Well, we had never tried the tricks. We just had practiced my whole life throwing the football.
That's very cool. This stuff wasn't.
I gotta tell you, what was the longest throw that he threw into the garbage can? 50 yards. So me and Steve played.
This guy's a giant.
Steve's 6'7", 270 pounds, and he played on the college level football. We went out after we saw the video, and we were trying to throw as far as we could. How'd that go? Steve did not hit 50 yards.
Ask Joe how many yards he hit.
That was nothing short of amazing. So what are your plans? Your dad went to BYU. Do you want to be the quarterback at BYU? Is that your aspiration?
Well, I don't really know yet. I think
you should go to the U.
That'd be cool, though.
Let's go to the U.
No.
Come to the dark side, son. Come to the dark side. All right. Well, what about? I understand you do martial arts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do a kickboxing match? Did I hear?
Yeah, I did. Just about a year ago, I think.
What do you think of that?
Pretty fun.
Do you like doing martial arts?
Yeah,
How does
I
that
love
compare to football to you?
Well, football's for sure my favorite sport, and I also just love going to class on the weekdays.
Because you're your coach, right?
Yeah.
Who's your coach?
Well, right now in jiu-jitsu, it's Steven Seiler.
He's a pretty good little jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, but my dad is usually the coach.
Your dad's the head coach?
Seiler's doing it because he needs extra money.
Now, I understand you have a favorite fighter. Who's your favorite fighter?
Probably John Bones Jones.
Okay, all right. And I understand you like GSP too.
Yeah.
And then
You are now even more my hero.
Yeah, she doesn't stop talking about you. But on the local level, now Dane's your guy, right?
Yeah.
How come you like Dane so much?
He's just cool and nice.
Great kid, but what a talented kid, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to fight in the cage someday?
I'm not sure.
I don't think your mom wants you to, does she?
I don't know.
Well, good, man. I got to tell you, it's awesome having you come on the show, and I want you to keep in touch with us. Let us know how things go. If those college coaches come knocking on your door, let us know about it.
Okay.
All right, Gunnar, thanks for coming on the show. Man, good-looking kid, great example of what can be done when you parent your kids correctly, Joe, right?
It's funny because we come in here and we still kind of get nervous. He's in here like, whatever.
Oh, man, he's all right. He's been doing interviews with much cooler people than us. All right, well, we're gonna talk some Ultimate Fighter, and if you won't mind sticking around, because we want to talk. In fact, Ramsey's coming on the show, but do you want to stick around for that? All right, we're gonna have the Legas stick around in the studio for a little bit here. We got more Ultimate Combat Radio. Don't go anywhere.